good to go.
All right. Motion to open the meeting. We're official. From the public this evening. I'm not expecting the mayor this evening.
Not expecting the mayor.
Nope. And then these are
Minutes.
the minutes from the meeting.
Sign off.
No problem.
Two lefties on the board too.
You know, Tom, I was just thinking that, I go, what- yeah, as I'm thinking it, you're saying it, you know?
Thank you.
All right.
Are we ready to go through the packet?
Yep.
Okay. The first item is just a letter that I sent back to the Public Safety Committee regarding the letter that the Public Safety Committee had sent to the board. I told them that we would be looking at that in the future.
Okay. My question is, at what point do we need to put it on the agenda to discuss our response and prepare it, or how does correspondence work?
What would, we could put it on, we could put it on for the next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And if the board had ideas on what they wanted to put in their response,
Mhm.
then we could formulate those at the next meeting, where you
Okay.
could come in with a draft and say, here's what I put together, I think, you know,
Okay.
in this, and then go from there.
That's great. I just
Yep,
want to try and close that loop for him before
yep.
we get another letter. So I'll prep a draft. We'll add to agenda.
Okay, the next item is from the supervisor of the wastewater treatment plant. He's telling us there were no exceedances for alcohol 002A and no flow at 001A. And the reason why there's no flow at 001A is because it's shut off because it's a broken pipe. And
Right.
as you go through the packet, you'll see that we're requesting funds for the actual construction so we can put it out to bid.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is, again, from the supervisor of the wastewater treatment plant. They didn't do a toxicity test there because we're not using it. And the next two items go together, and as you can see, the engineering on that is going to total, the engineering and construction oversight is going to total $84,800. We've already appropriated $18,000 and $18,700 out of the sewer operating budget and the wastewater treatment operating budget, so we could get things started, knowing that we couldn't come up with the whole amount. So this is a request to come up with the whole amount, do the contract for phase 2, which includes construction oversight, and put that money back into those two budgets, because we're going to be short in our operating budgets if we don't put those back.
Understood.
And the next one, the engineer's estimate is around $199,000, so we're requesting that we come up with $200,000 so we can put this thing out to bid and get a contractor on board.
Mhm.
When it goes to council, if the mayor sends it to council, the council will shoot it back to finance subcommittee, which is 2 weeks, and then the finance subcommittee reviews it, which is 2 weeks, and then it goes back to the full council for a vote. So it could be 6 weeks before this money is actually available.
Mhm.
So that's gonna put us back into December sometime, so we probably will be looking at a start bid date of early springtime at this point.
Okay. When is our peak flow typically?
Our peak flow is typically springtime. Yeah. When if we are into March and get some heavy snow melt along with some heavy rains in the spring, yeah,
And peak flow exceeds our emergency overflow that we're currently using?
Yes, it does.
Is there a contingency for discharge?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Not at this point. That's something that we're gonna have to look at seriously, but at this point, we have no.
Well, I'm working out the timeline, and,
It's gonna bump right into that,
I mean, because we especially don't want to be doing the work at peak flow.
We don't wanna be doing the work at peak flow, even though there's,
Well, that's, yeah.
yeah, I guess I need to talk to Carl and say, how much can that second outfall actually handle?
Right.
Because there's actually, there won't be any flow in there, so as long as the river's low enough for us to get out there to do the work, we could probably do it
Mhm.
March, April. But if we get high water, that may inhibit us from getting out there to actually do the work, because we can't get to the pipe because of the high water.
Yeah, I guess my thought was, could there be a contingency where we do a temporary discharge out of the main pipe before the breach?
That is a possibility.
To get,
And-
a secondary outlet to the Manham.
Right, and with the rest of it coming out of the breach and going, right, instead of going all the way down.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something that we will be talking to our engineers about and see
Okay,
see
yeah.
what they.
I'd like to see something on the books rather than hoping that the water's low enough,
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The next item is from DEP, and it regards our community participation in the MRF, the materials recycling facility in Springfield. And the last contract we had with them, we've actually received a small amount of money for every ton that we've taken down now.
Right.
But
Those days are gone.
We all know those days are gone. So we're gonna have to negotiate a new contract with them, and based on what we're taking down there, what did you say, Michelle, it could cost us $15,000?
Yeah.
$20,000?
And this is the city's waste that's generated,
No, this is the drop-off that we have at the highway
Oh.
garage.
Okay.
People come in, they can drop off.
People who don't privately.
Right. They can drop off their recyclables,
Mhm.
glass, paper, bottles, things like that. And that type of, that stuff we haul, we have it hauled to the MRF.
Is that open to all residents or just people who do the $30 dump sticker?
I think anybody can come down and drop recyclables. It's that way with motor oil. Somebody has motor oil, they can just come and bring it.
Yeah.
So
Rather than it being
Yeah.
illegally dumped for
illegally
that service?
most of the people that have a curbside pickup, they're required, the haul is required to haul the recyclables out too.
Mhm.
So there's probably very few people that come down and just give us their recyclables. But we all know that the market for recyclables has changed. In conversations with people in the town of West Springfield, they were talking to Republic, who picks up citywide in West Springfield, and they said other states are not recycling paper or glass anymore. They're putting those into the trash stream because there's no market for them. But in Massachusetts, that's not allowed. So those will still be recycled in Massachusetts, but there's going to be a cost.
Right now, Republic picks up our municipal buildings,
Mhm.
and they handle all of our recyclables. So we don't pay separate for those right now, that's in a contract with them to take care.
Okay.
So the only thing we're paying for is the stuff that comes through the DPW.
Right.
Okay.
And I have a meeting tomorrow
Yeah.
to go over the MRF stuff, they have that in Northampton tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it all this try, but.
Okay, yeah, so I'll be going to
We'll be bringing back the info.
Yeah, yep,
You'll be on the agenda to brief us.
yes.
That's right.
Yep.
I don't think I have anything else. The only other thing is just as far as director report, I just wanted to let you know that we are applying for one of what's called the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Grant. And this is a copy of a letter that we are including in the grant, in the grant package. Also, there'll be letters from the police chief, the fire chief, conservation commission to help bolster those, that application. So that has to be into them by tomorrow, and so we'll see where we fall in that first round of grants. When that happens, if we do end up with a grant, the funding is going to be something that we're going to have to talk to the mayor about, because that's not something that we have planned for. We came up with some money to do the grant application, but the grant there'll also be in-kind work that our city engineer and our sewer department can do. That would reduce the amount of money that we'd have to put in up for that grant, but there's still going to have to be something that the city's going to have to come up with. But we'll have to wait and see what happens once we get the grant. Our motor repair foreman has retired after 25 or 26 years, and so by union rules, we're required to post that internally to see if there's any individual who is interested and qualified to move into that position before we go on the outside.
Right.
So this posting just takes care of that.
Okay.
He's going to be using up some vacation time, so we're probably not. It's actually his last day. I think it's February 16th, but we're not going to see a lot of him after the first of the year. So.
Do you expect an internal? I know last time with some of the other stuff, some jockeying, everybody sort of.
I do expect an internal applicant there that has been with us for many years also, and I feel he's very qualified to step into that
that'll
position.
create another position, and it'll ripple through.
That'll ripple through again till it all kind of works out.
It's posted.
Yeah. Again, we need to put back on the agenda for the rate study, figure out where we want to go with that. And again, it's up to the board whether they want to do more than this, do less than this, do nothing. That's something that the board.
Yeah, I've read through what we were given. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to discuss, so we can get that on the agenda.
Yep.
Some of their assumptions and stuff like that.
Okay.
There's another item I wanted to rate study. With that, we'll also need to schedule a public.
We need to schedule a public hearing. So if we schedule a public hearing for sometime in December, we can probably we can raise the rates effective March. See, because we've got to go
miss a quarter.
We've got to miss a quarter because we can't raise the rates on consumption that's already been
Understood.
used.
Yeah. So if we want to get it on the books in December, we'll need to pick a date at our next meeting. And I also saw you on the mayor's update.
Oh.
So one thing I got out of that was, there's a public hearing for Union Street in December?
Yes.
That was already on the books?
That was just confirmed 2 days ago, I think it was.
Do we need to attend that? Is that something we're hosting, or is that
Mass Highway and our consulting engineers, DHB, will be doing the heavy lifting there.
Okay.
But we will be there. The Board of Public Works is.
I'll just need to know the date.
Yeah, is more than welcome. Is actually encouraged to come because there's going to be there's going to be a lot of questions. But according to MassDOT, they need to hold this public hearing so that they, if they're the ones that.
You mentioned it. I just didn't know if it was
Oh, I
something DPW was hosting or
Yeah.
It was the first I heard of that.
I see.
Yes, I'd like to attend.
Yes, so we can firm that date up at the next meeting.
Great.
And gentlemen, that's all I have for tonight.
All right, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next meeting's November 20th.